Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga, and welcome to Soft Flow Yoga. So glad you can join me here. Our class today is called Leg Extensions and Balance. So we'll be working on our legs, some hamstring stretches, but also incorporating some balance work. So here's the props that we'll need for our practice today. You would like to have something soft underneath you, like a blanket or a towel that you can fold, or some extra padding, like another yoga mat that you can roll out on top of your first one. So that will be good to have. And then for our balancing and leg work, you might want to have a strap, a yoga strap here, something like this, just something long. It can be a belt, a jump rope, something that will assist you with some of the balancing and leg extensions. And I like to use a couple of yoga blocks. Here, this is going to help with some of our postures as well. And just an optional prop that you may have, maybe a yoga bolster or a big pillow. These are just nice, big, firm, like pillows that you can use to sit on and are also helpful for some of the leg extension work. Actually, I'll use this for our leg extension work at the end of the practice, and some mild back bends. So if you have a big pillow, it could be from your bed or sofa. So that's all the props that we'll need. Let's go ahead and begin our practice. So I invite you to come to a nice, comfortable seated posture. Feel free to sit on your folded blanket or towel, or even on your bolster or big pillow. And you may close your eyes if you'd like, just starting to move inward. You're certainly welcome to keep your eyes open and just gaze forward or even down at the ground. And just start with some slow, deep breaths, just to get reacquainted with your breathing. Just full, expansive breaths. Noticing how the breath moves through your body. Feel it lengthen in your spine. Feel it expand your lungs. Good. And just continue with this sensation, listening to the sound of your breath and feeling the breath as it moves through you. Continue to feel the breath rising upward as it fills you up, that nice expansive feeling. When you exhale as you're able, just draw your navel inward towards your spine, just a light pull sensation. You're actually engaging your abdominal muscles here. Good. And a few more breaths like that. So as you inhale, again, feel the lengthening of your spine, the expansiveness of your lungs. And the exhale, drawing belly button in towards your spine. Just feeling this centeredness, connection. 3 more breaths. And after these 3 breaths, we'll add a very simple movement. When you're ready, your next inhale, extend your arms out across the room, a nice reach and stretch feeling. And then all the way up to complete that inhale, reaching for the ceiling. And exhale, extend your arms out and down. Let's do that again. So as you inhale, extend your arms out across the room, even feel like you're going to touch the walls, then eventually touching the ceiling. And exhale, same sensation, good effort as you reach and extend, finishing the exhale as you bring your arms back down by your side. Now go ahead and continue with this movement at your own breath pace. So it's okay if you're not moving with me, just move with your own breath. And if you're moving in slow motion or just moving with the pace of your breath, just notice what's happening within your body. Notice your shoulders as your arms go up and down. Keeping that energy throughout your arms, hands, and fingers as you extend and stretch. Feel the lengthening through the sides of your body, and even that continued lengthening of your spine. As you reach up, just feel as if you're being lifted up into the air. Go ahead and finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more breaths. And when you're complete, just go ahead and bring your arms back down by your side. And just relax, just come back to stillness, and just feel that transition from an active body to an inactive body. While still seated, go ahead and bring your hands behind you. Just prop yourself up onto your fingertips perhaps, and feel the shoulders gently pull back. It just kind of opens the heart a little bit more. And then just tip your chin up a little bit as well. Now, the active body. Inhale, press into the ground with your fingertips and just feel that energy kind of shoot up the arms, right up into your shoulders. Inhale, feel the breath expand your lungs and open your heart space. Nice expansive feeling in the chest. Then as you exhale, continue to draw your belly button in towards your spine. Do that again. Inhale, pressing into the floor. Breath rising, filling up your lungs. Exhale, draw belly button in, and as you're able, squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. Since your shoulders are back, you might be able to kind of squeeze towards your center, towards your spine, as you squeeze to engage those muscles. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And when you're complete, just lower your chin, looking forward, walk your hands towards yourself so you can sit up nice and tall. You can just, once again, just bring your arms forward and rest your hands in your lap. Let's make a transition from our seated posture to our hands and knees. So take your time. And this is where you might want to use your padding here. So I'm going to unfold my blanket. So I have more of a rectangle right here. So I can just rest my hands and my knees on my square, on my rectangle. Inhale, lift the head looking forward as a way of opening your heart. And at the same time, your pelvis tips back. And this creates this back bend, so your belly feels like it's drawing downward towards the floor. That's the inhale. Then exhale, tuck the pelvis under. Feel your belly button pull up towards your spine. This will create a curvature in the spine, a rounded back, as your chin comes to chest. And then just continue this flow. So the inhale as you create the back bend. This is cow pose. And exhale, rounding the spine, chin to chest, is cat, creating a nice undulation of the spine. What really creates this mobility in the spine is this movement through the pelvis, tipping it back and tucking it under. Meanwhile, keep your hands firmly pressing into the mat. This will keep your arms straight and strong. And you want to have that sensation as you're moving through these 2 poses. We'll be coming back to this posture to create one of our leg extensions. All right, finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more. And then just finish with an extended spine, long and flat. And just imagine you're a tabletop right here. Now this can create a lot of pressure on the wrists, so let's take a little break. Tuck your toes behind you and then just kind of sit back towards the heels so you can just lift your hands and just give them a little circle right here. Since that's a very forced flex that we're creating in the hands, you can just kind of flip the palms down, okay, just stretching through here. Or even a gentle press, very gentle, into the ground or on your pad. I'm just going to do that with both hands here. So we're going to be doing some more work with our hands on the floor out in front of us. So sometimes your wrists do fatigue. Alrighty, I'm just going to step off of the blanket here and just set it to the side and return to hands and knees. But here we're going to step the hands forward a little bit, spreading out your fingers as wide as they can go. And as you do so, kind of push into the ground, flattening your palms, keeping the arms nice and straight. Tuck your toes under again. Let's do one more cat and cow movement. Inhale to cow, where you tip the head up, arching the back. Exhale, tuck chin under, rounding the spine,
cat pose. Hold cat pose, keeping toes tucked. Lift your knees, then send your hips up into the air. Keeping the arms straight and strong. You might need to adjust your feet a little bit. It's okay to even adjust your hands on your mat. Just to ensure you have a very lengthened spine. To help that lengthened spine, keep your knees pretty bent here. This will allow your hips to have a little bit more mobility, so you can send them up into the air, helping to extend the spine. This is downward facing dog. From down dog, let's take a few steps forward with the feet until we're about at the center of the mat. So your feet are flat on the ground here, like so. And just slide your fingertips toward your toes. This is a nice deep forward fold. You should start to feel the stretch through the hamstrings. Perfectly fine to keep the knees bent here. All right, we're going to inhale and slide the hands up to the shins or knees. Hold here on the exhale. So we're about parallel to the floor, something like this. Again, keeping the knees very bent, very strong in the legs, in the extended torso. Again, imagining you're a tabletop. Let's continue standing, shifting your weight back into your heels. Bend your knees, lower your hips, start to look forward. Even take your arms out to the side and start to grow tall, reaching right up into the air like so. This is extended mountain pose. Keep reaching high, and with the exhale, just bring your arms back down by your side. And you might just want to roll your shoulders here a few times. You can roll them backward, roll them forward, and go ahead and check in with the wrists again. I like to wiggle the fingers, circle the wrists, both directions, and even get into your elbows if you'd like. All right, let's do one more half salute to the sun, which just means we're going to be folding forward and coming back up. So standing near the top of your mat, arms down by your side with your palms facing forward. Nice long neck as you gaze forward. Here we go. We'll inhale, extend the arms all the way up. Nice stretch. Exhale, arms out to the side. Bend your knees and send your hips back towards the back edge of your mat as if you're trying to sit down into a low chair. And then fold, making your way down towards toes. Take your time. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees and extend your spine, returning to that flat back. Let's hold here for a moment. Feel the strength in the legs. Keep the knees bent, nicely extended torso. Shifting weight into your heels, bend your knees, lower your hips, lift your heart, arms out to the side. Inhale, rise up nice and tall, extended mountain pose. Exhale, arms return to your side. Very nice. And if it feels good, go ahead and circle those shoulders again, and even down on the wrists. Let's remain standing. Let's do what I call a variation of Warrior One, which is a lunge, but very mild, and we'll turn that into a triangle pose, which will start that leg extension. The leg extension work has a lot to do with getting a nice stretch and lengthening through the hamstrings. All right, so again, just stand near the top of your mat, nice and tall, palms facing forward. By keeping the palms forward, what you get is a nice outer rotation. It turns the arms out, which actually keeps the shoulders rolled back, keeping a nice posture. Let's soften the knees quite a bit here. Keep them soft. Start sending your weight over into your right foot. I'm going to lean forward just a tiny bit. This should make this left leg and foot kind of light, so I can start tapping it back. Keeping the heel lifted, just like that, until it just kind of naturally stops. This is about as far as I can take the leg. Now you're on our toes, heel is lifted, but we're going to turn the whole leg out. Another outer rotation, kind of like the shoulder here, but we're doing it with the leg. So we can set the heel onto the floor behind us. The right knee or the front leg can stay quite bent. See, you can see here there's not much distance between the feet, and that's on purpose. Go ahead and place your hands on your hips, pushing your pelvis downward, so a little effort of pushing downward. At the same time, you want to feel nice and tall. What we're creating is some good space along the belt line, around the belly button. This should give you some mobility so you can turn to face mostly forward here. Now, inhale, extend your arms up into the air, and the exhale will bend our elbows quite a bit, maybe to about 90 degrees. So this is our variation of Warrior One. What's making it different from a typical Warrior One is that not much distance between the feet and the arms are bent. Okay, like I said, we're going to turn this into a triangle pose. So let's extend the arms up into the air. Exhale, turn your torso towards the left side of the room as your arms come down to parallel. Just hold there for a moment. Just feel the energy of your arms, just for a breath or two.
Now we might need to change the distance between the feet in order to get into our triangle pose. But first, just feel the energy of the extended arms. Now go ahead and rest your arms, bring them down. I'm just going to put a little weight into my front foot and start tapping the left foot back 2 or 3 times, just putting a little bit more distance between the feet. Let's re-extend this front leg. Now we're ready for triangle pose. Let's re-extend the arms out to the side, like so, and then reach forward. You can see I'm just kind of creating this nice angled upper body. You don't have to go very far. And then rotate the arm. So this right hand is reaching down towards the knee or thigh, while the left hand is reaching straight up, which you may start to feel as a lengthening sensation in your right hamstring, or even the whole leg. So this is triangle pose. Let's just stay here for a few breaths. So we're getting a nice stretch, good lengthening. To come out of the pose, let's bend this knee, making sure it doesn't go past the ankle. So you want to make sure we're about here. That's just going to give us some good leverage from this leg strength here to come back up to a warrior 2 position, like so. Just hold for a second, and then you can rest the arms. Just going to turn forward. Let's take the arms up and forward to parallel. Flip the palms up like so, and then carefully fold. Bring your hands down to the floor. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you, so we're in this lunge. Push firmly into the floor with the hands. Strong hands and arms so you can pull or slide this right foot back. Lower the hips slightly so we'll be in plank pose. Another kind of leg extension exercise here. It also creates strength in the arms and upper body. Now bend your knees a little bit. Send your hips up into the air. This is a return to downward facing dog. You can take the feet wide, separate the hands a little bit more. Remember, keep your knees very bent, send your hips into the air, downward facing dog. Make sure your head and neck feel relaxed as well. Let's take another walk up to the center of the mat. Feet flat on the ground, slide your fingers towards toes. Hold here for a second. Then an inhale to slide your hands up to the shins or knees, just only coming up halfway right here. With a nice flat back. Again, we're keeping the knees bent. You're going to still feel the energy in the legs. Continue to shift your weight into your heels, bend your knees. Start to look up, arms out to your side. Re-extend your arms all the way up into the air. And exhale, arms down to your side. Very good. You can roll the shoulders again. All right, let's do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to turn to face this direction. So back to mountain pose. Remember, palms forward, getting that nice outer rotation in the arms, helping with posture. Let's put a bend in the knees and start shifting weight into your left foot now. Peel that right heel off the floor. You want to make sure this leg and foot kind of feel light so we can start to tap it back until it just kind of naturally stops right about there for me. Remember, we're going to do that same thing with the arm, with the leg. Just turn the leg out so we can put that heel onto the floor. Feel your whole body shift back so you feel pretty centered here. Alrighty, so we're going to keep a slight bend in this front knee. Place your hands on your hips. Remember, you're pushing your pelvis down and feel very tall and proud. Again, making some space around the belt line. And then start to turn forward. This should be good. Inhale, extend your arms straight up into the air. Exhale, bend elbows to about 45 degrees. And we're in our variation of Warrior 1. Hold for a moment. Remember, we're going to turn this into a triangle pose. We're just breaking these down. I like to break down our poses in soft flow so we can really move through our postures effectively and gain the best benefits. All right, let's go ahead and inhale and re-extend the arms up into the air. Exhale, turn your torso towards the right side of the room as your arms come down to parallel. So we're kind of in a variation of Warrior 2, since the feet are still pretty close together, but still feel this good energy of the arms. Reach like you're going to touch the walls here. Be sure your arms are about parallel to the floor as well. Now let's go ahead and relax the arms. Let's put a little weight into this left foot so I can start tapping the right foot back 2 or 3 times. Just putting a little bit more distance between the feet. Going into triangle pose, we're going to straighten this front leg. And then we can take the arms back out to the side or just parallel to the floor. Let's reach out over that left leg just to create an angled upper body, then rotate the arms. Left hand reaching down, it might just reach the knee or thigh, while the right arm reaches straight up. So not only are we getting a nice stretch in this left leg, but you might even feel a stretch through the right side of your body. And just hold here for several breaths so the body can get used to this sensation. Make sure you're breathing deeply when you're holding your poses. All right, to come out of our pose, we're going to start by bending this left knee, being sure this knee is nicely aligned over the ankle or the heel. Strengthen this thigh to come up, return to a warrior two. Nice extension of the arms. Let's go ahead and relax the arms for a moment. You're going to start to turn to face forward, just a torso turn here. Take the arms forward to parallel, flip the palms up, and we're going to carefully fold, just hinging at the hips, land lightly on the hands. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. I just call this a runner's lunge. Push firmly into the floor with the hands, so you have strong hands and arms, so you can pull this left foot back to meet the other. I'm just lowering the hips a little bit, and here's the strength in our legs, arms, and upper body. All right, let's bring the knees to the floor here for a moment. Keep the toes tucked, sit back. Again, we're just going to do a brief kind of circling with the arms here. We're going to do a pose that's called spinal balance. Spinal balance. And we might want to have some padding underneath us. Let me get my blanket here. I'm just putting it across the mat here like so. Now you will be on your hands and knees again. So you can have the padding here for your hands if you need it. So back to our little tabletop here. So spinal balance, here we go. I'll break it down for us. So I'm just going to lean a little bit to my left side, so left hand and left knee. I'm going to extend my right leg back. I'm basically just lifting the knee and keeping the toes on the floor like so. Now a little bit more weight into my right hand, and I'm going to extend my left arm forward. Reach. So this is a variation of spinal balance. So it's opposite limbs. Again, left arm reaching forward, right leg extended back. The variation for our soft flow practice is that we're keeping this back foot on the floor. You could lift the foot, okay, just for a little bit more of a dynamic sensation, but for now you can just keep the toes on the floor and just feel these extensions. Let's bring this left hand down, bring the right knee back down, and if you need to, take a break. Keep toes tucked, sit back, rest the hands, especially that right hand since all the pressure was on that right hand. So I'm going to do a little pulse here. And we'll just do our spinal balance on the other side. Alrighty? Hands and knees. Now I'm shifting weight into my right side, hand and knee. Extend the left leg back, basically just lifting the knee to help extend the leg, keeping the toes on the floor. Shifting my weight into my left hand so my right hand feels light, so I can extend the right arm forward. And just reach, extend like I'm trying to touch the wall out front. Be sure your neck is long here too. Just check in to see if your knee or your chin is tucked under like so. Just lift the head a little bit so your gaze is directly down. Again, you can lift this back foot maybe just for a quick second just to experience what that feels like, but feel free to keep the toes on the floor. Let's finish. Bring the right hand down, left knee comes back in, keep toes tucked, sit back, circle. Alrighty, let's get into a standing balancing pose. Alrighty, so I'm going to crawl off the blanket, send this off to the side. Now I'm going to have my strap handy. I'm just going to leave it here by the side of my mat. I'm actually going to spin around for this part. All right, so we're on our hands and knees. Here, step the hands forward. We did this earlier. Step the hands forward slightly, spread out your fingers, lean into the hands to open up the palms. Strong, straight arms. Tuck toes. Cat and cow, starting with cow. That's your inhale, creating the back bend. Exhale, round. Keep the roundedness of cat. Lift your knees off the floor, send your hips up into the air. Make the adjustments with feet and hands.
Very good bend in the knees, sending the hips up. Relax your head, neck, and shoulders. Strong, straight arms, downward facing dog. Once again, we're just taking a walk to the center of the mat. Feet underneath us. Slide your fingers toward your toes. Forward fold. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees. Just halfway lift to about here. Knees very bent, strong legs, lengthen torso. Shifting weight into the heels now. Bend your knees, lifting the heart. Arms out to the side, then stand up. Once again, just reach all the way up into the air, extended mountain pose. Exhale, arms return to your side. Feel free to roll those shoulders again. Always check in with the wrists. Wiggle the fingers. All right, let's try a balancing posture. We're going to use the strap. Now, the other prop that I didn't mention is just something to help you balance. That can be a wall, table, chair, anything like that to help you stabilize. So I'm just going to maybe just step back a little bit since I have a wall, and I'll be able to demonstrate by using the wall. But we also will need the strap. So I'm just going to kind of turn at an angle like this so you can see me. So go ahead and get your strap, jump rope, belt, whatever you have. Let's place it underneath the left foot. Alrighty, so that means your right side will be nearest your other prop, your wall, table, or chair. Okay, so all I'm doing here is just, since my strap is kind of long, I got it around the foot and just wrapping it around the hand. So I can just stand up tall and I've got this sensation. Okay, I'm just standing in mountain pose. Again, I'm just at an angle so you can see all of this, so you can see my hand against the wall. Let's always start with mountain pose, balanced on 2 feet. Let's put a little bend in the knees. Keep the knees soft. I'm already going to use this wall. I'm just going to place my hand on the wall, putting some weight into that right foot, okay? Because I'm going to be picking up the left foot here. So just going to pick up the foot, bending the knee. It's like a marionette puppet. I'm just kind of holding the foot up. And then we're going to extend the leg. Just flexing through the foot, pushing through the heel. We're just going to hold here. Now, you don't have to lift this any higher than this. What you really want to feel is not only the strength in your standing leg, all right, and you're pushing into the floor with that right foot, helping you to feel tall, but also feel the lengthening of the torso, getting even taller. Be aware if you feel kind of hunched over or if you're leaning back. Nice and tall here. That's why it's okay to keep this leg low. We're working the balance and we're working the extension. Now let's go ahead and bring that foot back down. I'm just pulling away from the wall. There we go. I'm just going to turn around here. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and switch. So that's our balance with a leg extension. So same thing on the other side. So I've got the strap underneath my right foot. I'm just going to kind of wrap it around my hand here. Coming to mountain pose. And I'm just going to use the wall here on my left side. A little bend in the knees, put some weight into the left foot, and just marionette puppet my right foot up, just bending the knee. And then start to extend, and it could be way down low, way down like this. Again, be aware if you're leaning back. If you're leaning back, just stand up tall. That might mean the leg lowers. That's okay, because you're still doing the leg extension and you're balancing on one foot. I can bring mine up a little bit, just using the wall to help me balance so you can hold for, a good period of time. Feel the energy of the standing leg, left leg, foot rooted strongly into the floor. Feel the lengthening of the spine, feel tall in the torso, nice long neck. And of course, we have that right leg extended, just pushing through the heel. All right, before we get too tired, let's go ahead and bring that foot back down, and we're complete. I'm just going to remove the strap here. Carefully bend and just place it on the floor. Very nice. All right, let's continue our flow, making our way down to the earth. Back to our mountain pose, palms forward. Take a breath. And let's move. Here we go. Inhale, sweep both arms out and up into the air. Exhale, spread your wings. Bend your knees. Sit back into an imaginary chair as you slowly lower your chest down towards your knees. Bring your fingertips downward, let the head relax. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees, halfway lifting. We're not going to hold it, we're going to fold back down. Bend your knees a whole lot. Let the back round more. Hands to the floor. And just start walking both feet back to the back end of your mat. Straighten the spine a little bit by lowering the hips. Pushing strongly into the floor, strong straight arms. Take a nice breath here. Exhale. Now you're still doing a leg extension just because they're straight, but you want to kind of feel like your hamstrings and calves are actually lifting up towards the ceiling. Let's bring the knees to the floor. Keep toes tucked. Sit back briefly. Okay? I call this a half hero. You're just really just getting the weight off the hands. A full hero is this. Actually, join me. Okay, flatten the feet, sit back more, just briefly. You're going to feel a different sensation in the knees and thighs, but we're going to actually sit off to the side, swing the legs around to the front here. Maybe just scoot so you're sitting in the center of your mat. Now we are going to lie down. Since we have these nice props here, feel free to use a blanket for some head padding if you need it, or your whole body if you want to unfold the blanket completely. We're going to have our 2 blocks nearby, and I'm going to pull this bolster in closer too. All right, make sure your blocks are near your hands as you roll down onto your back. And go ahead and bring both knees into chest. You might want to add some movement here because it feels good, at least it does for me. Just for a little massage, I like to create kind of a figure 8 shape. I'm just circling, I'm just holding onto the knees and just kind of creating these circling effects. And for me, it feels quite nice on my low back and helps to release hips. Get into the ankles here. Flex, point, circle, kind of like what we did with the wrists. Flex, drop the palms, circle, okay? Since we did some balancing work, this will just kind of feel nice, hopefully a relief for the ankles. We're going to move into bridge pose, which is a back bend. So we're going to set the feet down. Perfectly fine to keep the feet wide. I like to take mine wide, right out to the edges of the mat. That when I eventually lift my hips off the floor, it just creates a little bit more space in my low back and hips, okay? You can always bring the feet closer, take them wide. You can always adjust while we're in the pose, so whatever feels good. All right, make sure you got 1 block or even 2 blocks. I'm going to work with 2 blocks today. So you're going to inhale and just fill up your lungs. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, I'm just pushing my feet into the floor so I can lift my hips as high as they can go, high enough so I can get these blocks underneath and then sit. It's nice having these nice thick blocks because it really lifts you nice and high. Sit on those blocks and it creates this back bend sensation. And it's nice because you don't have to put too much effort once you're in the pose because you're just sitting. What's nice, we're just creating some length and opening perhaps in the upper thighs, kind of this hip flexor region, even in this low belt line area or below the belly button. And we're also getting kind of this nice opening in the chest. I like to get my arms and shoulders a bit underneath my body just to open up through the chest a little bit more and even through the front portions of the shoulders. Again, this is bridge pose. A supported bridge pose since we're sitting on the blocks. Let's take a few more breaths. We're going to get into another leg extension here in a moment. First, we're going to come out of this back bend. So just pressing feet into the floor. Again, you have to lift your hips high enough to get the blocks out from underneath you, and then go ahead and bring your body safely down to the earth. Once we're here, go ahead and extend the legs straight out front. Arms reach behind you, just for a wonderful stretch through the entire body. All right, just bring your arms back down by your side. Now, hopefully your strap isn't too far away, because we're going to bring that strap again. Use that strap again. Bend your knees and just keep the feet on the floor. Let's do a leg extension just by lying down. Let's start with the right leg. Have your strap ready. You're going to draw the right knee towards your body so you can lift the foot up off the floor. Wrap the strap around the free foot and then extend the leg into the air. Now we've got the strap to assist us like we did in that standing position. It just makes more length in the arm just in case you can't reach your foot with your hands. Now you're working towards getting a straight leg. Mine does go pretty straight, but if your knee needs to bend, that's perfect. Even if your leg needs to be down lower, okay, that's okay too. Okay, just at a point where you can feel kind of a natural, maybe leg extension or hamstring stretch, while the leg or foot is just reaching up into the air, not necessarily towards the ceiling. Maybe it's towards the front, of the room or upper corner of the room. Just a few more breaths. You can see that I'm keeping my left knee bent. You can keep it bent or even extend the leg out onto the floor. A couple more breaths here. This feels nice. So we're doing these leg extensions one at a time. Let's finish by bending the knee, draw the knee in so we can release the strap, place the foot on the floor. You can just hold for a moment, just come to relaxation for a moment, and we'll get set up for the other side. All right, we'll draw the left knee in. Same thing, we're just going to wrap the strap around the bottom of the foot and extend the leg. I'm again just kind of wrapping the strap around my hands, so I have a good hold. Here, just feel, because it might be different on this leg. Maybe you can fully extend the left leg, but if not, still okay to bend the knee or even lower the leg. The right knee can remain bent, or you can extend the leg out onto the floor. I'm going to extend it this time. Nice active foot. Actually, both feet are quite active. If you decide to extend your right leg straight on the floor, flex the foot and feel the heel as if it's trying to move directly forward. Same with the foot in the air. Flex, it'll be a natural flex since you've got the strap around the foot, but also feel like your heel is just moving either straight up or just somewhere out, away from the body. 2 more breaths. I'm starting to really feel this nice extension. This is going to help you gain some flexibility. Let's go ahead and bend the knee, draw the knee in. Let's remove the strap. Setting the strap to the side, we're done with that. Let's bend both knees, feet on the floor like so, and just take a breath or two and just feel or allow the body to completely relax. We're going to do a double leg extension. And this time you can use your blocks. One block might work just fine for this. Use the blocks if you don't have a bolster or a big pillow, and the pillow really needs to be firm yet soft, okay? Some firmness so it can support you, but it doesn't feel like it's too hard on the body. I'm going to use my bolster, but again, you're welcome to use a block. So I'm just going to get my bolster over here. I'm going to eventually slide it underneath. So just like preparing for bridge, press the feet into the floor, lift your hips, slide the bolster underneath and just sit, or a block. Just one block is fine because you don't have to lift too high. You're going to extend 1, then 2 legs into the air. So this is our leg extension work. Doing both legs at the same time. Straight-ish legs. If the knees need to stay bent, that's fine. But to keep the legs somewhat energized, I might suggest flexing the feet. You can also point the toes. I like to flex, pushing the heels away because it helps, I think, with the stretch through the hamstrings. You can even hold on to the legs if it feels like they need a little support. Let's just take a few more breaths. We're going to start to wrap up our practice. Good. Let's go ahead and bend the knees, set the feet onto the floor, press feet into the floor so you could remove your prop, and we're done with that. We're going to move right into Shavasana to complete our practice. Just go ahead and extend your legs out front, arms down by your side, palms up, just like standing in mountain pose. All right, palms up, so you still have that natural rotation of the shoulders to keep the upper body opened. And just feel the body completely relax. Let the feet fall open, your legs, your hips. feel your whole back body melt into the ground. And again, your arms just down by your side. You're welcome to keep your eyes opened, just looking upward, gazing, staring, or even close your eyes. And wherever you are, just return to the richness of your breath. You might start with a couple of deep breaths just to keep this connection with your breathing, but then you can just soften the breath so the body and your mind can completely relax. Take your time here. Continue with slow, deep breathing, maintaining this connection. You may even feel your body relax even more. And that really is the intention. The intention really of our entire practice, not only to get a little bit more mobility and flexibility in our legs, since we focused on balance and leg extensions, but all of that really to perhaps make a little bit more space in the body, allowing any tension or pain to flow away from the body so that you are able to completely relax physically and mentally. That's our intention. Feeling this wonderful ease and comfort. And you're very welcome to stay here as long as you need to really indulge and take advantage of this restful moment. Even as I end the practice, just stay right here if it feels best for you today. When you are ready to move, rather than moving right away, take your time. Move slowly, just as we did throughout the practice. Take your time. Let's start with breath. You might take 3 deep breaths. And with these breaths, start to feel some movement return to your body. Just enough energy to produce movement. Certainly no rush to move, but when you are ready to move, you might start by bending your knees, feet on the floor, really just to help maneuver the body to roll onto one side of your body. You might even hold here for a few moments, this lovely nurturing pose. And after a few breaths, just press and lift yourself up. Take your time so you can come to a seated position. Feel free to sit on your blanket, your pillow. I'm just bringing in a block. Just so you feel a bit more comfortable, you certainly can just sit on your mat. Cross your legs if that feels good. And once you're here, sitting up nice and tall and proud, roll the shoulders back just to feel proud, heart opened. Now you can just keep your hands down, maybe even just resting in your lap, or you can bring your hands to heart center. Wherever you are, take one more breath in, complete breath out. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste.
Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.